Okay, this is how I lost $650 day trading ES today on April 8th, 2026. Coming into the morning, we had a massive bull run overnight caused from a ceasefire with the Iran and United States. Trump said that he was announcing a 20-day ceasefire, I believe. So, off that, immediate bull run, we're in bull run mode. So this is our 4 hour. You can see I have the 4 hour equilibrium marked out here on both indexes. It's hard to see because I have the grain level down. But from this swing low up to this swing high, swing low to swing high, 50% retracement is around the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. And as we do every session, we come in looking at where our draws on liquidity are. This level was taken on this March 18th level was taken by both indexes. So both indexes poked above that, so we don't have an SMT there. So when I look at higher time frame draws on liquidity, what do I see? I see a 4 hour level here to the upside, 4 hour level here to the upside. Just a few 4 hour stack daily levels, 4 hour/daily stacked levels here. Same with ES. We have this, this one right here is the hourly level within this 4 hour, but we have this 4 hour level, 4 hour level, 4, another daily level. So these are the levels that I marked to the upside. Coming into, let me get to our 9 o'clock candle. That's our 10 o'clock candle. This is what our 9 o'clock candle looks like, or 9 o'clock hourly looks like. What we have is both indexes after making this massive bull run, kind of chopping sideways a little bit. Now, coming into the day, I should have, and I did, the risk on this trade. This is a $650 L compared to the most recent couple of losses I've taken, both being over $1,000, I believe. I've taken a couple of losses here recently, close to 1,000 and over 1,000, which in comparison to my wins, I need to slow back down on my sizing because I'm giving away all the profits that I've made the past few weeks, which is unfortunate. But once you get my sizing, how I want to go about my sizing is once I make so much of a buffer to give, then that's when I'll start sizing up and using that extra blanket of drawdown to increase size. But now that I've given back some of my losses, I'm gonna have to go back down in my sizing, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. A couple of the losses I've taken, they've still been great trades, in my opinion. This one, not so much. I'll be the first to admit. This trade was kind of me trying to inflict my will and tell the market what to do. If we look at this hourly here, and after giving a little bit of context, after we make this massive bull run from the news, this being a news event, such a massive news event, we normally don't get a big push up like this and then a big V recovery back down through this. So I was not anticipating this deep of a retrace, which we ultimately did not end up getting. What we usually get after a big bull run like this is we get a big move up, and then after our big move up, we chop a little bit, we poke up to accumulate a little bit more liquidity, and then we'll make a deeper retrace. And this is just from what I've noticed. I've heard a couple guys talk about this as well, TJR being one of them, and that is a very fair point. From these massive news events, we're still trying to accumulate buyers most of the time, so we're kind of chopping. We poke up to sweep liquidity to then, if we're gonna make a deeper retrace, we then do so. So coming into the day, although we were extended on the 4 hourly, yes, I was not anticipating this steep of a retrace into 50% equilibrium down into here. At market open, I I don't want to say once, but my initial bias was for us to retrace, take out London low, this hourly low, maybe put in an SMT, wick out some of these hourly levels, have the hourly be a wick out to then go up and take out one of these levels, continue a little bit higher in our bullish trend. If I drop down here to the 15-minute, we'll see what ends up happening here. Now, what do we get? This is our 945 candle. Let me get to our 945 candle on ES. So what levels have we taken out on both indexes at the 945 close? We've taken out London low. We've taken out this low. We've taken out not quite this level, but we do end up taking it. So we're just kind of floating a little bit in not no man's land, but we don't have an SMT to the upside here, at least on the 15-minute. Both indexes have taken out all these little low resistance or slash hourly levels, and we're both hovering above this and our Asia session. So I was just kind of watching price and letting it develop. We did have FOMC today, which did not give too big of a reaction, I don't think. Yeah, it was right here at 2 o'clock, but nothing crazy. Let me come down here. Let me get to our, where's the 10? Yeah. So what ended up happening, as I mentioned, both indexes are floating underneath on the 5-minute. Both indexes are floating underneath London, this hourly low, and we're both floating above this 15-minute level here. And what we get is it is a very small fair value gap. I think it's a tick fair value gap, but we inverse that, right? And then what we have is a SMT. We have SMT from here to here, from here up to here. What I didn't like was how close NQ got. NQ, its low here was 42.50, and this low here is 40.75. I didn't like how close it got without taking that out. I would have liked to see it take that out. I think that's one reason my price ended up chopping sideways and being indecisive for so long, is because we did get so close to that level. So the objective was not decided. But based on the fact that we inverse this 5-minute gap, we come down, put in this 5-minute SMT, I was willing to take this continuation trade on the higher time frame up to at least this 5-minute high here, this high here, and then London session was a little bit of a reach, but on the hourly, around these 5-minute highs is pass into this 50% equilibrium. So if we did want to go lower after breaking 5-minute structure or disrespecting 5-minute order flow and get an SMT, I thought if we were going to continue lower, we'd come up, test into 50% and then rotate down. But that's not ultimately what ended up happening. What ended up happening was, let me pull over my chart. So we never got a 1 minute. We inversed this gap on the 5-minute, but we did get a 1-minute break of structure. But I would have liked to see a retrace on the 1-minute to sweep out a little bit of liquidity, fill in this fair value gap, and then get a strong reaction out of it. And that's exactly what we did. We get a big bearish candle here on the 1-minute, get a nice reject without breaking any structure to the downside. I enter in a little bit, risking low of day. I was going to put stop here at this low, and that actually would have stopped me out. And due to how many times I have been stopped out by exact tick, I want to give myself a little bit of room here. And if I would have had my stop here and been exact stopped out on this, I would have been frustrated, even though this trade did not end up working. But usually what we see after we get a 5-minute disrespect order flow, we get a retrace on the 1-minute to sweep out 1-minute liquidity, to fake out more bullish buyers. before continuing the trend to the upside. So once we get this slap down here, sweep out this liquidity, test this 1 minute fair value gap. I enter in light size for skin low of day. And then what happened was we get another bearish candle, big bearish candle down here, sweep out this level on the 1 minute, and then get such a strong reaction out of it. Normally, this would have been the candle that exact stops me out. And because of the reaction that we got out of this again, I entered in one more contract. So my average fill was about right in here somewhere, risking low of day. But no, at this point, I moved my stop up because this was clearly what am I looking for? A high resistance low, if you will. This was the sweep that caused this move, this continuation play to the upside. So if this level was going to get taken out again, in my opinion, this was going to get taken out and we were going to flood to the downside, which ultimately ended up happening. But after this move here, after this reject, we never got a 1 minute break of structure back to the upside, which is super unfortunate. But I was already in this trade, so I just had to accept that. I was in this trade from over here. But we never get a bullish candle that closes above a high here. And what we ended up doing actually was putting in a 5-minute SMT here. We were struggling to break above these highs. We put in a 5-minute SMT and NQ did not take these highs. So NQ was down here somewhere. And that ended up allowing us to go and take out the level on NQ that I had mentioned, which being down here. We ultimately ended up taking out a few more of these levels on both indexes. As you can see, took out Asia session low on ES before chopping sideways now. This was a more unfortunate trade. I should not have taken this trade. I needed to slow back down, go back down to my sizing. I got a little bit confident after taking some wins. I was ready to size up. And my thought process right now, it's kind of slightly good and bad. I am at the point where I realize I feel like I have the skill level down and I just don't care about the money. And I suppose that's a great mentality to have, but it's kind of making me reckless with my risking, if that makes sense. So because I just don't care what happens and I'm using what I think is best knowledge at the time, I'm accepting the outcome of whatever it might be and just moving forward. While although that's a great mentality to have, I need to continue to be more selective as I have been. This past week or two where I've been taking these losses, I have not been as selective as I have been in the past few months. I'm taking these last couple trades here, especially this one. This has been a more so of an anticipation play based off of what I've seen before from price action and not what it's currently showing us, right? Although we had this 5-minute inverse, this 5-minute fair value gap that was barely formed, even though it got inverse, we made a retracement 5-minute SMT. We didn't have a higher time frame SMT. In the hourly close, I noticed this after the fact. The 10 o'clock hourly close broke structure to the downside. So there was a decent chance at that point since we broke hourly structure to the downside. Any move up was going to be a little retrace to then move us slower on the hourly. And that's just failed recognition from my part. And the execution has just not been the best here. And I feel like that does come from the slight increase in recklessness and not loss of interest, because I know I'm going to make this work, but loss of being emotionally invested, if that makes sense. And then it does have its goods and bads. Like I said, if I can continue with this mindset of not caring what the outcome is, that's going to benefit me. But also, I need to be more selective in the trades that I do take, and not just saying, screw it, we're going to take a long, screw it, we're going to take a short, whatever happens, happens. That's not the mindset I need to have. I still need to be a little bit more surgical in my entries. But then once I do take those entries, just still apply that carefree mindset. But that was today's loss, I'm gonna have to journal some things. It's unfortunate that I have given away my winnings from the past couple weeks, and it's become as I'm looking at my journals and my videos here, it's become reoccurring to me that my losses are bigger than my wins, and I think that comes from well, there's been a bunch of times that I've been exact stopped out before the trade ends up working, but I might be too quick into taking profit on my trades. I think that's a bunch of it. On my winning trades, I do take profit too quick. Like I'll take a PT1 at a 5-minute level when like for instance, if this was London session, we'll have like a couple hourly levels right up here relatively equal. When those are obvious draws on liquidity, I'll take profit at like this 5-minute level here, for example, as opposed to these being obvious draws on liquidity. I need to just end up holding towards the main objective of the day. It's something I'm going to continue to work on, improve on, and I'm just going to have to do some more reflecting. But that was today's trade recap. Thank you.